This Troper is Gus Zagarella, and I'm a clip art animation.
This Troper is Meg Chuden, and I'm a church lady.
This Troper is Henry Calley, and I'm a shell-shocked veteran.
This Troper is Addison Peacock, and I'm dancing in the ruins.
And welcome to Troper Fails, the show where we go back to the late 2000s and see how people tried to apply fictional tropes to their everyday lives.
Try it today, because it always works.
Hell yeah, we are back at it again. Back at it with Addison. This is the new Addison trilogy.
Oh.
Boy, do I have some spicy ones for everyone today.
Oh,
In
no.
a lot of senses.
Ooh, boy. Ooh, I love me a spicier trope, a mamma mia.
There was some I was reading through, and I was like, okay.
Too hot for
Like,
you too?
yeah, like, this is gonna be...
Oh, this is gonna be a little bit of a steamy episode, huh?
I'm gonna paraphrase Peep Show again with, they've only gone and done a bloody sex edition of Troper Fails.
Oh.
But
This will be even sexier than all of the thick asses in the first episode.
okay, maybe not that sexy, but, like, still pretty sexy. But
Nothing could beat that one coworker who leaves one butt cheek out on Casual Friday.
the hottest thing of all. But
Yeah.
we're not gonna begin with the passion of, like, attraction, of romance.
Not the,
The passion of the
tropes.
Troper.
Well, we're gonna begin with the fiery passion of revenge. This will be a very primal episode. It's about, like, hatred and lust and all of those things, which is why we are beginning with disproportionate retribution.
Oh no. This is going to be another edition of people confessing to crimes on Troper Tales, isn't it?
This is gonna be like some heavy, like, statute of limitations is carrying this episode. Material.
Each of these, like, trope things begin with, like, this is the Zodiac speaking. Okay. I added Mr. Krabs to the Complete Monster page once. They deleted it, flipped me off, started saying I don't understand the trope and just read the name of it, went against the entry, became rude to me, and banned me for a day. So, here's a fun fact. We did our one episode with Al Miller, Funko Tropes. We actually recorded another episode, which sadly never saw the light of day because Gus lost the audio.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the tropes that we've seen are ones that I've taken from that. And I will always remember a moment in that first recording where, after reading this,
Was it
yeah,
this, that?
Gus started to
wait.
say, the thing about Eugene Krabs is and Al just immediately goes, sexy, and Gus just fucking dies. And that would be lost for time forever. It's going to be the eternal, you just had to be there.
I remember the utter, like, stunned feeling I had.
To everyone here, Mr. Krabs, is he a complete monster? Why or why not? Addison, what do you think?
Ooh, so here's the thing. I think that Mr. Krabs is as much of a monster as any, like, hyper-capitalist industrial leader and, like, business owner is, which is to say, like, a little bit. But also that's a standard that if you're going to measure Mr. Krabs by that, then you have to measure, like, quite a lot of people by that same metric.
I think that flanderized late season Mr. Krabs is absolutely a complete monster. But, Stephen Hillenburg's Mr. Krabs is not.
Yeah.
The sort of platonic ideal of the Mr. Krabs is like a season 3 Mr.
Yeah.
Krabs.
I think he has good qualities. I feel like he's, at least in early seasons, again, I disagree with his politics. Which is not a sentence
Yeah.
I ever thought I would say about SpongeBob character Mr. Krabs. But I disagree with his politics. And I think he should treat his workers better, because famously, the Krusty Krab is unfair. Mr. Krabs is in there, standing at the concession, plotting his oppression.
Plotting
Yeah.
his oppression. And in later season, pays them with Mr. Krab wacky bucks, which are not legal tender.
It's true. He does also demonstrate a willingness to change on frequent
True.
situations, and also seems to really love and care about his daughter.
He tries to be good to his daughter/stepdaughter. He, in the old seasons, would often give, like, fatherly advice to SpongeBob, tells him to stay clear of the hooks.
I was gonna say, he did teach him to be to avoid the hooks, and he did seem to feel
Yo-ho, by the hooks will
and
never go.
he he seemed to feel true remorse when he thought he had killed the health inspector. So I really do think, though he is a flawed man, perhaps even a deeply flawed man, Mr. Krabs is not a monster.
No.
Do you know, I can't disagree with that. That brings us to our next...
Patrick, on the other hand, no.
Yeah, no, Patrick's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But that brings us to our next disproportionate retribution, where there is only one voice I can read this in, and you will
No.
immediately know. This troper made an excellently humorous status update on Facebook, only for one of his friends to point out the joke. This troper proceeded to link that friend to Don't Explain the Joke, thus exposing him to TV tropes and sucking him in for the rest of his life.
Except that probably didn't happen because your friend is presumably not as big a loser as you.
Yeah.
Your friend probably read that and was like, okay, that's a little passive-aggressive, I guess. I won't dwell on
The
this.
friend that just goes, oh, this is why you're cringe and our friendship is falling apart.
Yeah.
It's this website. It's all here.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is why I don't talk to you much.
The way you read that makes me picture that, like, the guy, like, typing up this Troper Tales is, like, he's doing it from, like, a Zeppelin.
Yeah.
With his, like, monocle and his, like, hat with gears on it, and he's got a mustache. This fucking Kingmaker-ass character.
I've got a picture of him. Do you remember the, back before Pepe was kind of ruined in the 2016 election?
Yeah, the monocle Pepe.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well memed, my friend.
Yes.
Pepe.
Yeah.
Monocle Pepe.
Yeah.
Monocle Pepe was my favorite Pepe.
He was a good one.
Actually, no, I'm a big fan of the Pepe that's, like, holding his hands up as if to say, please, God.
Yeah. So, now this next one, this is the last of Disproportionate Retribution. And I can, like, I'm not going to do a voice because I wouldn't be very good at it. I can only picture these two as just a pair of, like, feuding, like, Old West cowboy brothers. And you'll see why. Is everyone ready?
Let's do it.
This really goes up a notch for, like, Disproportionate Retribution being, I was banned for a day on TV tropes, and I sent my friend a link. My brother once spat in my just opened bottle of Sarsaparilla. When I was done drinking, he laughed his arse off and told me he'd spat in it. Later that day, when he grabbed his cup to rinse out his mouth while brushing his teeth, he got a mouthful of what at first he thought was water, but turned out to have a much higher urine content.
Oh my god.
He also had his pillow spat in below the cover, so it wasn't obvious for a whole month. It's been 7 years since then, and to the extent of my knowledge, he's yet to spit in another drink of mine. To the extent of his knowledge, I've yet to piss in a drink of his.
That is Cain and
Henry?
Abel.
Henry?
Oh my god. Yeah, that's like biblical.
That's like, that is straight from the Bible. That was Cain and Abel.
What are you thinking, Addison?
I'm just like so like I'm like actually oh my god, it's so fucking gross.
He pissed in his fucking drink.
And the guy just leans over and whispers in his ear, you shouldn't have spat in my sarsaparilla.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Oh my god, I'm so upset. The idea of like if someone spat in a drink that I was drinking and told me after I'm like, after I drank it, they would be lucky if all I did was piss in their cup.
Troper Fails is where we go to make Addison feel every emotion.
I feel physically sick.
I'm just imagining like someone spits in Addison's sarsaparilla and then
Stop.
she just goes John Wick on them.
Just kills their whole family.
Just kills everybody. That has to be an expression now. Just
Yeah, see, who spat in your sarsaparilla? That's what I
Yeah.
was
who's
going to
spit
say.
in my sarsaparilla?
The Spanish version, I believe, is who's shit in your milk.
Who put the guso in your milk?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if someone just seems weirdly pissed off, you say, hey, who spat in your sarsaparilla?
Can we please stop talking about spitting in people's
Yeah,
drinks?
we'll move on, because here's a reward. You're about to get something that you'll actually really like, Addison.
I don't believe you.
Because now we're moving on to Foyer.
Oh.
Oh.
This is when a protagonist and an antagonist have sexual tension and are the same gender.
Gay, 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 gay.
So this is the opposite of disproportionate retribution. This is like a good thing followed by a bad thing.
Yeah, and again, like, this first one, like, if this was like a pair of characters, I'd be like, shit, this is pretty hot. Like, I might even, like, fucking steal this for something that is a project that we haven't yet mentioned on here and won't mention now either. But anyway,
Secrets.
so is
Not
everyone
if I
ready?
steal it for Kingmaker first, brochacho.
Motherfucker!
Stop right there, cause I'm about to steal this trope myself.
Steal it and
No one will ever know!
This trope ain't big enough for the two of us.
Yeah?
I'm just thinking of that Alistair Beckett King with the like, stop right there, I'll be taking that. You stop right there, I'll be taking that. Stop right there, I'll be taking that.
Is everyone ready to feel a certain way?
I was born
Okay.
ready.
This troper didn't quite have Foyer, but instead had an extremely Foyer-ish moment with a friend. This friend and I wrestle a lot, extremely violently, often to the point of extensive bruising and mild bleeding. One night, this happened. I pin her, straddling her. Me. You know, if we ever hooked up, we would have the craziest, hottest sex. She flips me, counterpinning me, her now straddling me. Or if we were the type to act in our intense attraction to each other. Long pause while we stare at each other, then go back to wrestling. Closer to slap, slap, kiss, but still amusing. Then in parentheses, the kiss part came the next day. And yes, it was every bit as hot as I'd imagined.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Get it,
boy.
Troper! Get
Wowie
it, Troper!
zowie! Holy moly Moses!
Don't say I never give you anything.
Ooh, she could get it.
I don't know if I believe that happened, but I hope it did. I hope those two crazy kids worked it out.
I choose to believe, because that is, like, again, that's something that if I saw two characters do it, it would be the immediate whole, like, oh, you had my curiosity, now you have my attention moment. Just to think about two people fighting, and in the middle of the fight being like, God, we'd have the hottest sex if we were, like, into each other, and then them being like, oh, what if?
The eye contact, yeah. Oh my god.
Like, that's damn good stuff. Honestly, it sets an unreasonably high expectation for Foyer, because what you're about to hear is all super cringe.
Oh, cool.
Well, hot times are over. Pack it in, everybody.
And now I'm going for the things that
Time
will
to
immediately
suffer.
make your libido fucking shrivel like a raisin on a hot car. Don't know what that fucking metaphor was, but it's...
Do you put a lot of raisins on cars, Henry?
Yes, I've seen him do it.
That's how I make them. It's like the equivalent of moonshine. You never lived until you had a car raisin.
Yeah.
Put
I love
you
car
put a
raisins.
grape on top of your
Yeah.
car on a hot day and it shrivels.
Yeah, it's like having a shower orange. Do you remember when that was a thing?
Yes.
Oh my
People were
god.
like, oh, it's a fucking transformative experience. Have you, like, eat an orange in the shower? And I never tried it, and now part of me thinks, maybe I will try that later today.
Just reminds me of like one of those like weird trends of like, oh, you know, just like put the egg on your head and then just turn on the hot water and it will put all the egg nutrients into your hair.
Or to you, it's the whole, like, oh, you can eat the core, which I did yesterday on a recording.
You motherfuckers and your apple core eating.
No one
It's
said
disgusting.
you couldn't eat the apple core. We just said it's not a normal thing to fucking do.
You can do anything. You can commit Grand Theft Auto. You can start fires in public. You can do these things.
We
They're
who
just-
eat, but it is not in line with our soul or our ethics. I personally think we who eat apple cores are the silent majority, and now we jump into this. Okay, so this person says, this troper had an antagonistic relationship with a certain member on a forum she used to be on.
Oh, jeez.
Wait for it. I'd call him a bigoted asshole. He'd call me a touchy-feely, politically correct whiner with no sense of humor.
This is that movie, that
Yeah.
Netflix movie.
If I knew this kid in real life, I'd probably find myself strangling him. Then I found myself a little too ... intrigued. Following him around to catch him in the act of being a dick turned into a bizarre sort of admiration for his skill of being able to push every single one of my buttons at once while still acting like a pompous prick. Over time, it softened into a more friendly enemy sort of affair, his hatred spewing growing less idiotic over time, and me becoming less thin-skinned about things.
Oh,
But
God.
if I'd ever met him in real life, I'd be a lot less torn. Then in parenthesis, or a lot more, if you know what I mean. And someone just responded with, gross.
That's
yeah.
that fucking
God.
movie, Purple Hearts. That's
Or-
the plot of that movie.
Or that Jenny Nicholson troll book
Yes,
that you read.
God. I have some good news for you guys. And that's that this isn't real. This is Ben Shapiro fanfiction.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing. I think this is fake, but in the way the like pompous shitlord dude is making up this woman.
No, that's what I'm saying. Ben Shapiro wrote this about a woman from a forum that he wanted to fantasize about him.
I absolutely hate the narrative in this. Is like they went from two different people on the opposite sides of the political aisle to the most insufferable centrist couple you've ever met.
No, it's awful.
If you hear any like shuffling or scratching, there is a possum that sleeps in the wall right in front of this desk.
That's not a possum. That's me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the
God.
possum. We've invited another guest on.
And the walls will ooze snakeberry milk.
Oh wait,
God.
they always do that.
Listen to the Kingmaker Histories. It's really fucking
The
good.
most recent episode. Also, subscribe to the Kingmaker Histories on Patreon because I'm going to be releasing the sitcom cut of the Kingmaker Histories Chapter 7.
And if you have money left over after that, just give me some. I don't know.
Yeah, just send it to Addison. She needs it for therapy after these recording sessions.
Oh my god.
Okay, next we have this troper has come to the conclusion that his arch nemesis from high school was actually expressing his latent homoerotic lust for him, especially since they used to be friends before his enemy suddenly decided to turn into a major dick. I guess it doesn't help matters that he has typically retaliated to his foe's jerk-ass behavior with a healthy dose of mind screw, parenthesis pun intended.
What?
I don't know what the fuck to take from that.
Yeah,
I think
this
that's the other side of the Sosuke Aizen Pokeminch one.
Yeah!
right. Yeah,
This is the Pokeminch guy, like, growing up and being like, I think that guy wanted to fuck me.
Yeah!
yeah.
There's no heterosexual explanation for the way that he treated me.
You may think you're Aizen or Pokemich, but I'll be your Gygus or your Gin Ichimaru. Either way, man.
That's the most romantic
To the
thing
ends
I've
of the
ever
earth.
heard. God damn.
Yeah.
To the ends of the earth bound.
You're gonna need to bleach your internet history after this video.
Bleach your brain. Okay, so next we have another awful forum Foyer story.
Fucking forum foyers are the worst.
What's really funny about this first sentence, like this is already, God, from the first sentence, this troper encountered surprise Foyer unexpectedly, and it's like, how the fuck else can you encounter
How
it?
is a surprise?
Why would you encounter a surprise thing unexpected?
See, I love when I have unexpected surprises. Like, when I have an expected surprise, that's my favorite kind of surprise, when I expect it.
Yeah, like if someone's throwing a surprise birthday party, a party for me, I want them to like tip me off in advance.
Or I want to figure it out, and when they say surprise, I go, oh, wow, it's so thoughtful. But I knew it. I
Fuckers,
knew
I
it.
knew all along.
Pushes up your glasses.
Yeah.
Once again, like Sosuke Aizen.
Yes.
All part of my
He's the one
plan.
with glasses, right? I've never
He
watched
does,
Bleach.
but he takes
From
them
the
off when he
from
goes
the
into
very
the
moment that your zygote formed within your mother, I knew you'd plan a surprise party for me one day. I orchestrated events so that you'd do that.
That's peak anime smart guy. Anyway, this troper encountered surprise Foyer unexpectedly. A particular person on a particular forum became my arch nemesis of sorts almost immediately, mostly due to our opposite opinions. Parenthesis, Decepticon versus Autobot, conservative versus libertarian, pie versus cake. We even had team-ups on occasion against those more obnoxious than even him. The one day I went to check out some books at the campus library while wearing a Decepticon t-shirt and was greeted by a guy with an Autobot t-shirt. Checking his email, a casual glance confirmed his username, and without thinking I shot off a line from our last argument. The result, we're still nemesis, but offline we're more like punch clock villains. Neither of us particularly counts as a hero.
I thought that story was going to be like, I fired off a line from one of our arguments, he rebutted, we literally just started making out. It's the
Yeah.
whole, like, it's party rock is.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what you know what like is kind of underwhelming about some of these is that the faux yay doesn't really end in any yay. It's just like they're foes, but they're slightly more okay with each other.
It's more like enemies to friends.
Enemies to acquaintances.
The last Foyer. Is everyone ready?
Sure.
As I will ever be.
This troper ran an RPG based on original Grimm's fantasy/folklore with a bit of bondage culture. This encouraged Foyer in pretty much any antagonistic relationship,
Okay.
from guards and bandits to hunters and
Was
barbarians
it
to courtly
Pathfinder?
intrigues to inter-kingdom conflict.
Shut up.
This was somewhat influenced by Sociolitron, where Foyer quite often dove into the explicit. What the fuck is Sociolitron?
They've lost me so fucking hard.
I'm gonna look it up.
Sounds like something that Dr. Doofenshmirtz would build.
Meg, could you get up real quick and get me that drink from over there? I'm fucking keeling over from
Okay.
dehydration. Well, these two look up what
He's
Sociolitron
drying
is.
up.
Oh, God.
What is it?
Is it a virtual world? Oh, fuck. Wait, no.
I'm gonna read you from a website called Virtual Worlds for Adults. I'm just gonna read it exactly, okay?
Okay,
This
let's
is
hear
bad.
it.
Sociolitron is about sex, rape, murder, and blackmail. It's a game that uses the darker side of life to create adult entertainment. From having sex with an NPC to killing monsters, it has it all. You can compare many aspects of it to popular games from the 90s and early thousands, especially when looking at the style and overall design. It is like a very early RuneScape, but with a lot of adult content to it.
They've only gone and made a
shit.
bloody sex edition of RuneScape.
Fucking. I need the depraved RuneScape.
What I don't like is that, oh god, you can do sex, but you can also do sexual assaults in this game.
Why?
That's fucking bullshit.
I guess it keeps those kinds of people off the streets.
Yeah, okay, so is Sociometron, is that sociopath? Like, is that
No,
where
it's
the socio comes from?
Sociolitron, like sociology, but Tron.
So is Sociolitron basically like, I came in the middle of this conversation because Henry asked me to go get his sody pop, but is it like, from what I'm hearing, is it like the Wicked Whims of RuneScape? Just like they added sex to RuneScape?
No, it's its own game.
Oh, it's its own game, okay.
Which sounds like a fucking nightmare.
It's like RuneScape. You can meet other players and NPCs. You can talk to them, convince them to have sex, murder them, assault them, and do any number of things with them. The sex part of the game offers a huge selection of positions and moves. You can have sex with any gender and any person that you see.
This is what the movie Gamer thinks Second Life is.
Yeah.
Murder and blackmail are exciting too.
So this thing and this person's hack of it from, like, Foyer, all it makes me think of is Fatal, which is, like, a acronym. If you know, you know, but it's one of the most infamously hated RPGs out there.
Tell us in the comments what Fatal stands for. Wrong answers only.
Exactly. What does Fatal stand for?
Fuck a toad and laugh about it.
Fucking toad and laugh!
Yeah. Where did that come?
Well, that's it. Welcome to the fucking Toad and Laughs Fails.
Henry, what's next?
Next, so this is a fun one.
I told you I was in a silly goofy mood today.
Yeah,
Anyway.
so now we have four Temperament Ensemble. And I have the example here, so I'm going to read this out, but I have ulterior motives here.
Do you want us to say which one we are?
Yes.
Okay.
So I put, once I made a new group of friends at college. We turned out to fit this pretty well. Sanguine, my roommate, who is always in good spirits, likes to joke around, and is definitely the most optimistic one in the group. Show elements of choleric as well, due to his commitment to future plans. Then in parenthesis, Navy SEAL, etc., but still impulsive and carefree enough to fit Sanguine quite well. Choleric, my roommate's friend, who is constantly busy with his marketing organization, bent on advancing his career. He is charismatic and energetic, but he is also arrogant with a bit of a mean streak, which makes him annoying at times. Melancholic, this would be me. I don't make any effort towards partying or getting laid. I am practical above all else, and try to ignore emotions when making decisions. I'd say I work efficiently rather than hard, but I can't deny being a brooding worrier. And phlegmatic, my roommate's best friend. He's lazy and proud of it, yet his intelligence allows him to coast through his classes with little trouble. He's pretty laid back and tends to live his chill life in the now. Don't these two sound like the worst? These three sound like four times the charm. Don't they sound like the fucking worst?
They do.
I don't know. I feel like it's like they just pitched the most boring sitcom of all time.
Yeah, the dude who
And
is...
they were roommates.
Yeah, the dude who desperately wants to be a Navy SEAL. The, like, fucking Todd from Less is More.
No, you know what this is? I'm not gonna lie, like, this could be the most boring sitcom of all time, or it could be an audio drama that, like, actually exists.
Yeah, no, I could believe that. I could fucking believe
It's just
that.
like
That's why
four
you got-
guys just in a room.
Yeah, no, not an audio drama. This is a chat podcast. That
Oh,
exists.
you're right. Yeah, this is the meta-narrative for it.
There's an episode of Seinfeld where, like, no, actually, because in that episode they meet, like, the nice version of all the characters, and these people don't sound like they're nice, they're just boring.
No,
Yeah.
it's so true. Do you know what, actually? Rather than us deciding, let's leave it to the people in the audience.
I know what
who-
I think it is.
Oh yeah, what do you think it is?
I think Gus is choleric. I think you're melancholic. And then Addison and I can fight for which ones. And I think the fact that I said that means I'm sanguine.
Yeah.
Right.
I really don't know enough about the four temperaments.
Well, it's-
Yeah, I had to go look them up on screen, and I was getting confused.
It's like what they used to think, you know how they used to think that like an imbalance of the humors was what caused diseases. So it's the four temperaments are blood, phlegm, black bile, and yellow bile.
yeah.
And they are associated with different psychological states and different personality traits. So sanguine is the more like emotion-driven one. Melancholic is like logic-driven. Choleric is like I don't know how to describe choleric, but I know what it is spiritually in my heart. And phlegmatic is like more laid back. I think the perfect example is the Scooby Gang. No, the perfect example is the Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
Because the Scooby Gang don't really
right.
have personalities, I just realized. But the perfect example are the Ninja Turtles. but I don't remember which color of Ninja Turtle is which, so I can't. But if you know which
What
Ninja
is
Turtle
this?
is which, say
What
it
is
in the
happening?
comments.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Wait, no, it's actually Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Shit, there are only 3 of them. No, it's the Animaniacs. Shit, there are only 3 of them.
All right, okay, stop
Okay.
It's
goofing.
Bobo, Jelly Jiggler, and Don Patch. Shit, there are only 3 of them.
Okay.
Stop goofing.
Okay. On to Fridge Brilliance.
You know I can't count.
Not Fridge Brilliance in real life.
What I love about this is...
Henry read one of these out to me and he got really mad because it was incredibly stupid.
Yeah, so this Fridge Brilliance one is really fucking funny to me. Because someone posted a thing, and it just became a fight.
Oh.
No.
Like, this devolves into...
Did somebody post under Fridge Brilliance? Most people don't think you can eat the apple cores, but actually you can.
Stop this.
Okay, so here's what happened. So you're just not ready for how this is going to escalate, and it was so funny to me. Like, I just thought I've got to include this. So this Troper was running across town, visiting the 3rd recruiter to figure out opportunities in the US military. He was really angry about having to speed around town to find an open recruiter and wondered why the hell he was. Then he realized, it's the first thing I've done to control my life ever. He had a big smile on that day. Are you ready for the fight?
Yes.
Oh boy.
So, someone responds with the SpongeBob jellyfish music.
No, it's let's get ready to roll.
Bam.
Oh, fair. Anyway, so someone replies, wait, what? Joining the military, becoming the equivalent of a mook, and having your morals and sanity warped is controlling your life? Then someone responds with, wait, what? Joining the military means having your morals and sanity warped? And someone responds with, a little. A normal person is going to hesitate to do things that a soldier needs to do. Killing would be on the top of the killing would top the list on most people's minds. But honestly, the moment where you see someone's hand get shot off and you hesitate for a second or two, you're dead now, and or someone on your team is. And someone says, exactly, a moral person wouldn't kill unless they had to and wouldn't go looking for people to kill. As for the sanity part, PTSD and other things. Then someone else says, but wasn't every big bad once a mook? Then someone says, no, not always, but sometimes. Not that that's a good thing. Then someone else said, thanks for being jerk-asses, Tropers. Nice to know that every soldier ever is a psychotic, brainless killing machine. Then someone else says, and we Finnish have an unwritten rule in the army. Do not leave your friends and fellow Finns behind. Get them to safety at all costs. And you call us mindless killers? I just love how it became
What's
this...
happening? All over again.
Yeah,
just
oh
became
my
this brawl,
god.
And then at the end, like, the Finnish military became involved.
The War of the Finns and Tropers.
Completely unrelated to this discourse about the military, that was not Fridge Brilliance.
No, none of that was Fridge Brilliance.
That was just realizing that something was true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was just thinking that, like, this is the first time I've taken charge in my life. And it's like, that has nothing to do with Fridge Brilliance.
He made a decision and then felt good about the decision he made.
It reminded me of another thing that fucking pissed me off that I didn't even include, but I guess in a sense I am including it because I'm saying it. Mm-hmm. No, I don't have a picture. One of the Fridge Brilliance things was... a bartender is someone who tends a bar. Like, of course it is, you fucking idiot. They didn't have the name first. Like, they had the role, and then they picked a name for the role based on what the role entails.
It's almost like a motherfucker is someone who fucks mothers. Like, what?
It's like that. It's like that joke that's like, hey, what were the chances that Lou Gehrig would die of Lou Gehrig's disease? Like, it's that same thing of like, there's a fucking direction of causality here.
Yeah. You know, Fridge Brilliance, you always find it in the last place you look.
Yeah.
That was a good joke, Gus, and I'm mad about it. But also, as someone who my favorite tropes, ones that I would still to this day read are Fridge Brilliance and Fridge Horror, because I think they're really fun.
You love what I've got next, then.
Oh no, this misappropriation of it. Look how they massacred my boy.
First, I have some, like, 2 more of Fridge Brilliance, and this is really funny to me. Oh, wait, no, we are into Fridge Horror now, actually.
Fridge Horror has so much potential as like a thing for real life.
I only have 2 examples for this, but it's really funny because they were right next to each other, and I think they perfectly express the duality of the Troper brain.
Oh no.
And weirdly, I'm going to do the bottom one first, then the top, so Gus can, edit it accordingly. So the bottom one is, for Fridge Horror, Try to imagine what lies beyond the boundaries of the known universe, which theories say is finite. Does space exist beyond that boundary? Does time exist? And are all of the theories that brilliant scientists and physicists have labored to come up with explanations even right? Try to imagine what lies beyond the edges of the known universe is like trying to contemplate what non-existence feels like. There's the reason why the human brain can't imagine something like that. If we could, we'd probably go insane. And then the one above it is...
Okay, Howard Phillips.
Yeah, and then the one above it is... Just looking at the pseudo-harem dynamics makes this troper scared about getting an actual harem. Living with a bunch of girls, or at least constantly interacting them, without the opportunity to hang with guys. When you talk to other guys, they either snub your friends or question your sexuality. Seeing how you spend much more time with girls than you are either gay or very domesticated and not really a man. Sure, it's nice to have a few girls to call your own, but spending too much time with girls as a guy can be a bad thing, as this troper painfully learns.
Are you? What
my
the fuck are
God.
you talking about?
That's the opposite.
I love how it's like the intense existential cosmic horror to the incredibly finite, incredibly hypothetical world of divining what would happen if he had a harem.
You know, that genuinely feels like something we'd see in like a Monster Girl encyclopedia comment. It would only be more Monster Girl if it started with, wait a minute.
Wait a minute! What would happen if you actually contemplated the end of the universe?
Neither of those is fridge horror.
No, they're just not.
I'd like to teach both of these tropers a little bit about what fridge horror means, by which I mean I'm going to lock them in fridges.
Oh.
To enhance the story of their love interest.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just joking. They don't have love interest.
Yeah, you know this.
That guy's specifically avoiding it.
That guy doesn't want to have love interest because that's gay.
Yeah.
He said.
Fellas, is it gay to have sex with lots of women? It is when you're me. Okay.
Tell you what, do you know what's actually kind of a badass idea?
What?
A harem anime where in the first episode the dude is murdered and the harem need to work together to solve the mystery.
Nobody steal it. Nobody
Like,
steal
they're
it.
all suspects.
Benoit Blanc goes to solve a fucking anime harem murder mystery.
Yes.
Ryan Johnson. My DMs are open. Ryan Johnson.
If he doesn't take it, we'll take it because that's a really funny premise.
Now
That
I think
is
you'll
really
find
good.
that Miss Kayako is of the tsundere personality type.
I love that.
You self-describe as a tsundere. Is that true? But your peculiar temperament aligns much more closely with the yandere archetype, wouldn't you say?
I fucking love this.
The murder weapon was found in her room, which proves that she is in fact a yandere.
The eternal war between cut this out of the video, we need to make this, and this is too fucking funny.
Now it appears that a blow was delivered to the victim's head with a giant fan. There has not been any place on site that has been used to store such a giant fan. So whose hammer space dimension did this come from for the sake of a comedic slapstick gag?
Awful, I love this. Is everyone ready for the slightly, bizarre and different last trope of this episode?
I'm so scared.
I'm ready for bizarre and different. I've always been ready for that.
So,
Gus's bizarre and different adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gus Zagarella's a kind of odd adventure.
Yeah, I fucking love that. Well, this last thing, just something I noticed. So, we haven't covered one of these in a while, but there's a trend where if people's tropes don't apply to them, their Troper Fails are describing how it, reflects their own original fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in this...
Like the guy who has a fetish for point shoes and
Yeah,
keeps
exactly.
smoking.
Exactly, another one who all of her characters are turning into fuckers from the first episode. But, no, so... This is the saga of Japheth, or Japheth, however it's pronounced.
Let me see how it's spelled.
Is Japheth, same
I would
as
say
Noah's
Japheth.
son, Japheth. So I was in a thing in Friendly Enemies, right, or whatever the fuck that trope's called. I saved these as Japheth 1 and 2, so I don't even have the tropes for this first one. Friendly Enemies, and listen to this. We're all writers and character creators here, so we'll be able to evaluate what we think of this. So, original fiction example. In this troper's story, the big bad, Japheth, is a self-proclaimed chaotic, evil, omnicidal humanoid abomination. Yet list of friendly things he did to the heroine whenever he wasn't scheming include meeting in a cafe and talk about day-to-day stuff, like movies and books or latest celebrity gossip, baking a cake, then in parenthesis, very, very delicious one no less, which links to food porn, for the heroine's birthday, helping her with her homework and project or even tutoring her for a while, pulling the strings so her favourite park won't be demolished, indirectly helping her out when she's in a depression fit, transferring to her school, much to her shock. In fact, he's so friendly that people around her say he's more friendlier than many of her real friends. He always excuses himself, saying if she's too busy with her schoolwork, she shouldn't have to deal with him.
This is just a coffee shop, AU.
No, I'll say this is just Alistair the Radio Demon from Has Been a Hotel, because they're constantly like, oh, he's so powerful, he'll destroy us all, but he's more like the fucking pirates who never really do anything from VeggieTales.
Yeah.
And he's just sort of around.
The main villain who just hangs around with them, meaning that there is no narrative direction or purpose to the story itself.
The thing about the cake, and the fact that they felt the need to specify its deliciousness made me think, that's a weird detail. I'm getting deja vu. And I scrolled all the way up to Affably Evil and found the big bad of this Troper's original fiction is a humanoid abomination who likes killing people for absolutely no reason. When he doesn't do that, he enjoys drinking tea. Even the FBI members who are out to catch, even with the FBI members who are out to catch him, he even bakes a cake, in parenthesis, a very, very delicious cake, linked to food porn, for one of the investigators who hates him the most.
It's him.
Which, isn't that so weird? Because one of the investigators who hates him the most, and we know from that other one that this investigator is in school.
Well, she could be at, like, the FBI school.
She's scaring him with her Wednesday personality.
I have no idea, like, what is this story even about? On what grounds is this humanoid abomination just chilling with people?
Yeah. This is, what if we had a cool, sexy, evil villain, like, boyfriend fiction, I think.
Yeah, because it's just like the FBI agents are like, we're gonna take you down, J. Fifth, and he's like, I don't think so. Have some of these delicious French fries from the oven, and they're like, wow. Wait a minute, J. Fifth.
J. Fifth breaks out the air fryer.
You've committed so many murders, J. Fifth, and he says, well, I don't have a motive, so they were all manslaughter, and they were like, you.
Try some delicious cake and forget all about my quadruple homicide.
Try some delicious cake. Turns to camera, some very, very delicious cake.
And every time he says very, very delicious cake, it's like the menu, like the cake is on screen and the title says, it's a very delicious cake.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining, and the FBI has frosting all over their mouth, and they're like, we're gonna have to take a sample of this evidence back to our FBI lab.
Yeah, take it back to the lab, take it to a scientist. Can you reverse engineer this? I really want the recipe.
We need, how did he do it?
Yeah, it's like I really want the recipe because at the moment it's a massive conflict of interest that every time I go to, like, question this guy.
He's like, have a bit of cake.
Yeah, he's like, every single time I leave with, like, a slice of his delicious cake.
Take the cake. I can't have it in my house.
Yeah, I need
You're
to
going
be
back to the FBI with
all those
boys.
Fucking haunted on it.
He can't make the cake in jail. They can't put this man behind bars. It's a very, very delicious
Unless he
cake.
volunteers as, like, in the prison kitchen.
Yeah, it all gets very, like, Grand Budapest Hotel, and he
Yes.
immediately becomes, like, the boss of the prison, because everyone's like, you don't fuck with Japheth. Do you want him to stop giving you his cake?
I love that. I love the idea of, like, this guy's on the Suicide Squad. They give him the bomb collar, but it's so that he can, like, work in the prison kitchen and make the most delicious cake that's ever been conceived.
Very delicious
I'm
cake.
pissed that this guy specified that it was delicious, but didn't say what kind.
We don't know, it's just
because
lovely.
we've referenced the menu and the Grand Budapest Hotel, I am imagining Ray Fiennes.
Yeah, Ray Fiennes as
Japheth.
Japheth with his very, very delicious cake.
This is the film I want.
Yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy plays the FBI investigator.
Does anyone else really want a little
Wait,
bit
no,
of cake
she's the
now?
head of the FBI. She's the head of the FBI, and, like, it's just like, this definitely isn't a Makima XP. I don't know what you're talking about.
I hate this because I'm now
You
fucking...
gotta defeat the cake devil.
Yeah, I'm now just hankering for cake.
What
Please
cake's
tell us
so
in the
bad?
comments if at this point you desperately want to try Japheth's very, very delicious cake.
Japheth fucking cake pilled this whole episode. What? Like, I'm forgiving him already. I'm forgiving him for all the murders. I want the cake.
Maybe Japheth is the greatest villain ever written. If we
Holy
in the
shit.
real world are like, I would kill for this man for even an ounce of his cake.
Henry, I would kill for you for even an ounce of your cake.
Haha, you sicko. What do you mean? Like, 'cause the thing is, I like googled like Japheth cake villain and found nothing. So this person never finished this and put it out, which is devastating.
I think maybe they switched midway through and made it a cookbook instead. 100 recipes for cake with Japheth.
Yeah, cooking with Japheth.
The standard critical opinion is that this is a story with not much direction and this Japheth character sounds underwritten. But the fridge brilliance is that he's actually got really delicious cake and a lot going for him.
It's so funny because I'm now like, wonder who's gonna be in the next like Dire Gentleman tournament arc.
It can't be Japheth and his delicious, delicious cake.
Japheth.
Because people would just eat the cake
Guys,
and it'd be over for them.
I'm not even doing a bit. I desperately want some fucking cake
Well,
today now. We're gonna
let's
get some
let's
cake.
Get this
I'm
episode
so
finished.
hungry for cake, but it's 11 o'clock at fucking night. I can't get cake right now.
Well, Gus aside, let's finish this episode and get some cake. Fuck
Oh,
you.
poor
You've had
Gus.
enough tropes, audience.
And you didn't even have any cake.
Cake.
Japheth, give us your cake.